Hi guys! So today we are finally back with another page in the Book of Shadows. It took me a while because I couldn't quite figure out how to get the background that I wanted. I really wanted to do like a galaxy in watercolors, but every time I tried, it just turned out into a big mess, a big blotch. And the colors would mix together and it would look horrible. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go out and get any other different supplies to try maybe an acrylic or something. I might do that down the road. So I looked up a million tutorials on how to do it with pencil crayons. So I did it with Crayola. And it turned out all right. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I'm ready to add the information into it. So for these two pages, we're going to be adding the moon transits. Now the transits are when the moon is passing through one of the signs of the zodiac. And this happens every 2 to 3 days where it moves from one sign to another. Now, the signs of the zodiac all have a different influence. When the moon passes through a certain sign, its influence can be felt more strongly. And much like using the phases of the moon for timing either magical workings or planning projects, the transits can be used to influence the outcome as well. So generally, the fire signs like Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius are to deal with self-confidence and passion. Fire. Water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, are more intuition, and it's a great time for divination. Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, are more health and physical matters. And then the air signs, which is Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and they're more dealt with friendship and communication. So for the first attempt, I was speckling watercolor on a piece of plastic and then putting the paper on top and kind of mushing it around, trying to get almost like a gradient effect out of it. I didn't find that it worked very well. So for the second attempt, I added a little bit more water with a spray bottle to it and then flipped the paper over so I could see kind of what effect I was getting as I was pushing the paint around. But again, it just kind of, it might have been the watercolors that I was using because they are pretty low quality watercolors, but they just kind of muddied a lot. So after watching a whole lot of tutorials on YouTube for how to do galaxies with pencil crayons, I tried doing it this way. So what they say you should do is start off with your lightest colors and just kind of blotch them into your page. And then around that, you kind of build up a gradient of color. So I'm using pinks and purples as well as a light blue and a dark blue. And you're just building up these colors over and over again, trying to make them as dark as you can get. Here I'm going over it with a white pencil crayon, and this is to help blend it out a little bit. It kind of creates almost like a smoky effect on the pencil crayon itself. You'll also want to make sure that you're working from the lightest color to the darkest. Sometimes you're going to need to wipe off the lead of your white pencil because it does kind of collect a little bit of the color from which one you're working on. And here we are again, going over with another layer of pencil crayon. If I had to do this again, I'd probably work my shapes a little bit better. I went very streaky with this, and they could have been a little bit more rounder and cloud-like. I think that would have looked a bit better. So at this point, I'm using rubbing alcohol to blend out, starting from the lightest parts and blending outwards around all the purples at this point. Because it's supposed to kind of break down a bit of the pencil crayon and make it look really smooth. So it's hard to tell here, but it actually made quite a bit of a difference in smoothing out the lines of the pencil crayon. So now I'm taking some watered down black acrylic paint and just going over the entire thing with the biggest brush that I had. I just want to really darken this up. So now that it's all dry, I'm taking just some white acrylic paint and a toothbrush and just splattering white on it to create like a starry field. And I add just a few dots with my paintbrush to make some big stars. That white gap between the pages was bothering me, so I just ended up taking one of my black fine liner pens and just filling it in. So the first thing that I'm adding is the name of each of the zodiac signs and the symbols. So starting off with the moon in Aries, this moon is good for starting things. Things occur rapidly but quickly pass. And people tend to be argumentative and assertive in this sign. For the Taurus moon, things begun now last the longest. They tend to increase in value and become hard to change. This moon brings out an appreciation for beauty and sensory experiences. Things begun in the Gemini moon are easily changed by outside influences. It's a time for shortcuts, communication, games, and fun. A Cancer moon stimulates emotional rapport between people. It supports growth and nurturing, and it's a time to tend to domestic concerns. The Leo moon draws emphasis to the self, to central ideas or institutions, away from connections with others and emotional needs. The Virgo moon favors accomplishment of details and commands from higher up. Focus on health, hygiene, and daily schedules. A Libra moon favors cooperation, compromise, social activities, balance, friendship, and partnership. The Scorpio moon increases awareness of psychic power. It precipitates psychic crisis and ends connections thoroughly. People have a tendency to brood and become secretive. Sagittarius encourages confidence and flights of imagination. This is an adventurous, philosophical, and athletic moon sign. It favors expansion and growth. Capricorn develops strong structure, focus on traditions, responsibility, and obligations. It's a good time to set boundaries and rules. Aquarius has rebellious energy. Time to break habits and make abrupt changes. Personal freedom and individuality is the focus. With a Pisces moon, the focus is on dreaming, nostalgia, intuition, and psychic impressions. It's a good time for spiritual or philanthropic activities. Alright guys, so I think this page turned out fantastic. The silver and gold pens I actually got from Staples. They're nothing fancy. They're a Slicky, Pentel Slicky brand. Just ballpoint pens. So yeah, our next page that we're going to do is going to be the January and February moons, which is the wolf and the snow moon. So hope you look forward to that. See you next time.